Hello everyone. For many students, getting started is the most difficult part of writing a research essay, especially when it comes to open topic prompts. Therefore, in this presentation, I will explain my expectations for the research topic that you will focus on for the entire term, and I will provide some tips and suggestions for starting the research process. Let's get started. For this class, students will be asked to choose a research topic early in the term. Throughout the rest of the term, students will use this topic to help them write essays and respond to discussion board assignments. Essentially, whatever topic you choose, that's the one you will focus on for the rest of the class. Each of the assigned essays, then, will guide you toward writing a better research essay. That way, you won't find yourself writing a research essay at the last minute. In the first essay, the research proposal, you will present your chosen topic to me, your reader. The reader response essay will require you to explain why a specific source will be useful to your research essay. As for the research essay itself, students will need to advance a focused argument supported by research. In other words, you'll need to present a workable solution to the topic's problem. And that solution will need to be supported by both quality research and sound logical reasoning. The essay's topic can be nearly any topic that the student wishes. It just needs to have a debate or problem that needs to be addressed. When considering your argument, please note, stating that the reader needs to learn more about the topic is not enough. Anyone can make that claim. It's too easy. Instead, your job will be to present an actionable solution to the problem. Now, figuring out the argument for a research essay is further down the list of what you should be worried about at this stage. Still, it's something to keep in mind. For now, we need to be worrying about choosing a topic. I've been teaching for a few years now, and there are 3 topics I've found that are tiresome, overdone, and just a pain to read. Therefore, the following topics are forbidden: abortion, the death penalty, and the legalization of marijuana. It's not that I'm resistant to these topics simply because they exist. It's more that I do not get quality essays from students when they write about these topics. For the most part, students writing on these topics fail to do adequate research. They tend to write about what others have already argued, resulting in arguments that are heavily biased and are simply regurgitations of others' ideas. As a result, these topics are to be avoided. Now, there are ways to write around these topics. For instance, instead of writing about the legalization of marijuana, you could write about the United States war on drugs. Or you could write about the incarceration rates of people who have been caught with marijuana. A majority of the people in jail for possession are people of color. As long as you are not writing about these 3 topics, you can write about nearly anything you wish for the research essay. When it comes to selecting topics, I like to ask questions. At first, you will have a lot of questions, and there won't necessarily be any answers, and that's okay. Starting the research process does not require you to have any definitive answers. In fact, it's better to keep an open mind so that you'll avoid any potential bias in your research. As you start thinking about topics, most of them will be very broad. Once a topic has been selected, you will need to start narrowing it down to something more specific. The broader the topic, the more difficult and unwieldy it will become as you research and start writing. Narrowing the topic down is the best way to maintain focus in the topic so that you won't feel overwhelmed. For instance, look at the series of topics on this slide. They move from very broad to more specific. War on drugs in the United States is far too broad of a topic. It's just too big to handle in a 1,200-word research essay. How the U.S.'s war on drugs has negatively affected Black and Indigenous people of color is more specific, but it is still too broad. The final topic listed here, how the U.S.'s war on drugs has failed and led to increased incarceration rates for Blacks, is more specific, but we could still narrow it down some more as we wade through the research we find. Still, I hope you get the picture. The narrower the topic, the easier it will be to write. Now, as for choosing a topic, I have the following suggestions. First, think about your own interests. What do you like? What interests you? What have you wanted to learn more about? You are not limited to serious topics like the example on this slide. I've had students write about which is better, soft or hard shell tacos. I've also had students write about which truck is better, Ford or Dodge. In the end, I'll be fine with any topic you want to choose, so long as there is a debate. You could also use your own career goals as a point of departure for choosing a topic. For instance, is there a problem in your field that needs a solution? If, after all this, you still cannot produce some ideas, you can peruse the following article from the New York Times. It provides a list of potential topics to write about. Simply click on the link in this slide, or you can Google New York Times 401 prompts for argumentative writing. While it's acceptable to not have all the answers yet, that doesn't mean you should neglect doing a little research at the beginning. In fact, doing a little preliminary research will help you to narrow down the topic. As you start working through the research, I suggest asking yourself the following questions. Who are the top authorities on the topic? Is there anyone who others constantly reference? What do those authorities have to say about the topic? Do they agree? If not, why? Have they mentioned major problems that have yet to be solved? Preliminary research will help you enter the conversation surrounding the topic. Once you have learned what others have been discussing, you'll have a better idea of how you will be able to contribute your own ideas and voice. With all the information at our fingertips today, it's a good idea to take stock of what you will need to learn to better understand both the topic and the problem. It's always a good idea to write notes. Keep a special folder on your laptop, computer, tablet, smartphone, or use a specific physical binder to organize materials, whichever works best for you. I've used the Notes app on my iPhone to write down ideas before. As you read the research, take notes of what you are reading, including your own reactions to the source. Additionally, writers often reference others in their own work. This helps establish their authority. You will also need to establish your authority. So write down the source the writer used and look it up. Checking the links and references in your sources is a great way to find other sources. The writer has already done some of the work for you. And finally, each field has its own specialized words or jargon that's unique to that field. It helps to write down those words and their definitions. Using them will help you sound like an authority on the topic, and it will help you to better communicate your ideas. Thank you for watching, and please let me know if you have any questions.